Hi, this is Rad Mad Dad Science with Dave Cook. Today we have a little mini project that I've just acquired. I'm going to be restoring a FAMCO No. 2 2-ton arbor press. I got this from a good friend of mine who is also in the machining game. He has a big hydraulic press. This one was surplus for him, so I've acquired it. It's in mechanically good shape, works nice and smoothly. Doesn't need too much maintenance. The handle tensioning screw here is broken off, so we'll be dealing with that. I'm planning to repaint it. The paint is not in great shape. You can see on the side here, originally it was a machine gray. I'm going to be putting it back to that color. It had been repainted sort of brown with green accents on the lettering. I'm going to go to gray with white outlining of the lettering. A little bit of derusting on the head here, but this is mostly surface rust. Planning to take the base casting over to a local powder coating place that has some blasting capability, so we'll get the old paint and rust off. And hopefully it's going to look real good when we're done and be pretty functional. I need to be able to put things on lathe mandrels and I need to do some bearings. I'm looking to redo the bearings on my mill, although this guy might not be quite big enough for that. A few other points of note. This one, I have to replace the handle. FAMCO is still in operation under a Belco machine in Wisconsin. You can get parts for these. The sales rep told me that the design of these hasn't changed in over 60 years. They couldn't really tell me how old it was because they're not serialized and the casting was never done. I know this thing is at least 25 or 30 years old. The bolster plate here is in very good condition. Some of these aren't that great when you find them. This one, I've wire brushed it some to knock off the surface rust, but it's perfectly fine. I might go borrow my friend's big lathe and surface the front, but it's not even really essential given how it is. I'll get it blasted to get the rust out of the crevices where you really can't wire brush it. But I think we're going to have a pretty nice piece of gear when we're done, and hopefully without a real ton of effort. Let's get going on the FAMCO No. 2 arbor press. Zoomed in, we're going to talk about a few details, one thing that needs to be fixed, and a little bit about the painting. First thing is, this is supposed to be a thumb screw that you can tighten to keep the handle from sliding too freely in the pinion gear here. This is broken off. There's only maybe 1/8 of an inch or so sticking out, and although I put some oil and acetone on it to try to free it up yesterday, I can't get enough purchase on it with a locking pliers to get it out. This handle is just a bolt that my friend put in there so I could have something to use it with. That's going away, so let's take this off for now. Just on threads and out with its head. An interesting issue, and I'm going to tilt it so you can see maybe. There are some really deep scratches in the end of the pinion here. There's the worst of them, you can probably see that. I'd like to get rid of those. So it's not essential, but when I have the pinion out and after I get it derusted, I might go visit my friend again and use his big lathe and turn this down. Geez, I don't know, we might have to take off 20 thousandths or so to get rid of the scratches. Now let's rotate around, have a look at the front of this. This is the business end. This plate holds the ram in place. There are a couple of sort of wear plates or ersatz gibs in here. These are the adjusting screws for the one in this direction, and over here are adjusting screws for the wear plate on this direction. We're going to take those off, and I was pretty happy to find when I cracked these open that they just come right out. They are not rusted in place. So I think this unit has been in relatively benign conditions for the most part. And there's the plate. Well, this is the first wear plate. It's got a little bit of surface rust here and some indentations really where the adjusting nuts have worn into it over the years. Side that faces the ram is in really good shape. We might decide to machine this down or not, maybe not essential. I did see somebody who actually resurfaced their wear plates on a surface grinder just so they would be nice and pristine. I'm not sure I'm going to take it that far. I have busted loose these adjustment nuts too, and they will come out. Yep, well good. Over on this side, I haven't actually tried these yet. Oh, easy. And also easy. Alright, everything is good. And the last question mark. Alright, let's get the ram out of here while we're at it. There's the other wear plate. Here's the ram. It's just got a bunch of teeth in it. Last thing to do is over here. There's going to be there's a set screw in this collar that holds the pinion in, and I'm probably going to deal with that off camera to see if it works all right. And that's pretty much it for the mechanics of this thing. An arbor press is dead simple. Right, last thing to look at here. This is the underside of the bolster plate, which has a pin in it. I imagine that's a press fit. I don't see any reason to remove it at this point. We are going to blast this. I want to get some of the rust and crud off of the underside of that, but that shouldn't affect the functionality. This is a non-precision thing. It just drops in this hole so that the plate can rotate and stay roughly centered. And that is it for the mechanics. Okay, one last bit of disassembly. I need to get the nuts off of the grub screws here. Turned out this is actually not that hard. They weren't that seized up. I just used a half-end wrench and a screwdriver, and they have all popped loose. Coming off, that is going to be that. Although I'm having to take them off in the direction that it was threaded into the casting because there's surface corrosion on the outside end. And we've got it. That's it for disassembly. So I'm only left with the screw to get out of the end of the pinion here.